I want to show a concrete example of how Chris actually identified a gap by reading through the recent pull requests of the maintainers. So, Chris, you said your workflow was to just occasionally you would read the recent commits. Can you show us how you do that exactly?
Yeah. So basically we're at my Excalidraw fork. Um, I see here that my branch is 2 commits behind. So what I do basically is just go through and sync my fork. I'll update my branch, and then I'll go through the commits. Keep in mind that there were only 2 commits that my branch was out of date, and I'll just take a look at either of these two. So just from the commit message alone, I know this is tied to bound text and arrows, as well as I think this one has to do with auto resizing. Ideally, I'd just take a quick glance for each of them, um, but for the sake of this video, did you want me to cover the commit? Um,
Okay, so right, so we won't take a look at these exact commits, but there was one commit that you happened to look at a while back. Let's
yeah.
just let's just look at that one. So show us the commit that you paid attention to, which then led you to notice a possible gap. Which one was that?
It happened to be this one here, which was group defragmenting. And basically, what it entailed was an entire refactor on being able to establish an order based off of grouping. Um, this ideally, uh, from it or from briefly reading through it, I kind of pulled from this pull request uh, because I had made a previous PR that was tied to grouping, and I identified that I could use a similar pattern. So here he uses the term of buckets in order to establish a set map or order. Um, and basically, what he did was iterate through all the elements um, and use those buckets as a form of ordering. Um, so, ideally, from just looking at this PR, I thought, hey, I might be able to implement this in one of my previous PRs.
Okay, so let me highlight something here. We don't need to if you're watching this video and you don't quite understand what Chris just said, I think that's okay. The thing I want to highlight is that there was some kind of refactoring strategy that was used to refactor this file. And Chris saw a connection between what they did here and something in another part of the code base where he was able to apply the same refactoring strategy. Is that what happened?
Very similar strategy, yeah.
Okay. So can you take us to the next step then? So you saw this refactoring strategy used by one of the maintainers.
Mhm.
What did you take away from that? And then what was the gap that you noticed?
Yeah, so one of the functions that I had created for the code base had to do with a similar type of iteration of elements and using a map, or I used multiple maps. Um, so in this PR, he just used a single map in order to iterate through and establish the order properly. So I think I actually mentioned it in my PR here. So I can go ahead and click on this. And I guess did you want me to read through this or?
Yeah, I don't think we have to go into this in too much detail, but can you just show us the change files? I just
Yeah,
want to
sure.
see the refactor. I see. So you deleted a bunch of code, it looks like,
Hmm. Just
and you
overall streamlining the up or the function.
okay, so you refactored it using the same strategy as what you observed in the recent pull request from the
Yeah,
maintainer.
yeah.
Okay. So I think this is awesome, man. This is a great example of how like there was no public issue open that said we need to refactor this file. You just identified this opportunity. You saw like, oh, the maintainer did this a similar refactor for some other file. I could refactor this file using the same strategy, and it worked out, and the pull request got merged.
Mhm.
Very cool example. Thank you.